Hey all, welcome back to another F1 This Week video. Now, what a race we had this week. The Brazilian GP was last weekend. It was the last sprint race weekend of the season. Thank God. I do love sprint race weekends, but it's impossible to figure out who's going to be where because there's just no practice, which is kind of frustrating. But what a race, why I say. Lap 1 mayhem. Lando Norris nearly making an overtake on Verstappen. Very nearly. And then obviously, of course, Mercedes having bad race pace and Alonso and Perez having a massive scrap for third place. That was one of the best battles this season by far. But anyway, let's get on to the video. And like always, we'll start with the rumours that have been swirling this week. Now, one rumour from the end of last week, and I can debunk it already, was that Las Vegas could be the final race on the F1 calendar. It's already been said that it's not gonna happen. Abu Dhabi will go ahead, but that was just a rumour swirling around TikTok and Twitter. Now, another pretty cool rumour, I would say, swirling around at the minute, is that Toyota could be joining F1. Now, I don't know which year this could be. It'd probably be the new regulations around 2026. And it's rumoured to believe that Mclaren could be taking their engines. Now, I don't know if it's Toyota's going to become a team or if it's just supplying engines to McLaren. But my God, McLaren can't make up their mind with who they want to have as suppliers. Since 2017, they've had Honda, Renault, Mercedes, and potentially by 2026, so within 10 years of 2017, Toyota. That would have been their fourth engine supplier in 10 years. So we'll see how that goes. But I would love to see another team on the grid. And Toyota, obviously they were in F1 in the 2000s. It'd be great to see them back in the sport. Considering it looks like apparently Audi might not be joining F1 anymore. That's another rumour. We'll see what happens with them. It would just be nice to have a few more cars on the grid. Especially if the regulations are making the cars smaller. There's room for them as well, so why not? Then, of course, another rumour going around. Well, it's from Lando Norris himself, is that McLaren could be fast enough to push Red Bull next season. So obviously if the McLaren's pace is the same going into next season as it was at the end of this season, they could definitely push Red Bull. Now, Norris is saying he could. Obviously, there's no actual evidence that they can yet until Bahrain next season. However, could be likely. But knowing McLaren, they're probably going to shit the bed. They've been doing this my whole life. Yeah. I would not be surprised if McLaren came back to Bahrain and it's the same story over again. Now, in actual news, we have Ferrari closing the gap to Mercedes. It's now only 20 points. And with how bad Mercedes looked in Brazil, if they don't get their race pace slightly better, Ferrari could very much catch up to them. Considering how unlucky Ferrari have been this season, especially Leclerc last race, obviously he had a hydraulics issue on the formation lap. And even Carlos Sainz was having issues with his clutch by the end of the race. So with a fully fit Ferrari double pairing, I'd love to see what they could do, genuinely. Because it's 20 points, 2 more races, 10 more points. If Russell and Hamilton can't break the top 5, and you've got at least one Ferrari in the top 5 and one Ferrari in the top 10, they will catch up to them by then. It's going to be close, but very exciting. So comment down below, who do you think is going to win out of that fight, Ferrari versus Mercedes? For me, I think Mercedes will hold on. Brazil looked like a bit of an outlier, to be fair, because Mercedes haven't looked that bad everywhere else. And then, of course, I believe the fight for second in the championship is over. Perez has now extended his lead. Now, in 2 races, that would mean Hamilton. That would mean Hamilton would have to break 32 points over Perez. And with Verstappen winning every single race, the max he could get is 2 18 points in a row, and that would be 36 points. And I don't see Perez only scoring 4 points in the next 2 races. Yes, he hasn't been that good. He just needs a top 6 finish, which Perez can do. So I think the race for second is over. Well done, Perez. Then, in other news, Norris is now up to 5th in the championship, with Carlos Sainz dropping from 6th. He was in 4th. Such a shame to see for Carlos Sainz, because it's very close. Sainz is on 192, Norris on 195, and Alonso on 198 points. Now, I believe Norris will overtake Alonso. I do think the Aston Martin will fall off again. So I think Sainz will overtake Alonso as well. But we've got a little fight brewing. And it's earlier than expected. I thought there'd be a few points in it, and there are. But there's still 2 races to go. I think Russell and Leclerc are out of it for now. because even if Leclerc did get second and third, I think Norris would be right behind him. Same with Sainz. So I think it's a bit too late and a bit unlucky for Leclerc. And yeah, Russell's Russell, so yeah, he's going to stay where he is. And then I think the final news of this week is AlphaTauri have really secured that 8th place in the Constructor. Another good weekend for them. Shame about Danny Ricciardo, same for McLaren as well with Oscar Piastri. That they had to start a lap behind because obviously they're fixing the car. Rules are rules. But AlphaTauri looked like they could push Williams. It's exciting to see, and it could get close. Williams, I think, will hold on, but I really didn't think AlphaTauri would push that far ahead. Alfa Romeo, of course, still haven't scored any points, so they're still on 16, but AlphaTauri on 21 points, a 5-point gap at this point between the lower end cars. I don't see the Alfa Romeo scoring any more points this season unless they get lucky. And same as well for Haas, at least they won't score big points, so it's too big of a gap. I think the battle between 8th, 9th and 10th is probably finished. However, that is all the F1 news this week. I hope you all enjoyed. Like and subscribe, follow my Twitter for some more tweets, and I'll see you all later this week. Bye bye.